PSU!
We want you!
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 Say his name!
Jason Washington!
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 That is start. Yeah.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know that we have an ASL interpreter right here, if you know anyone who might need one, and we have all these signs, so please grab a sign. We have the I Support Disarm PSU Because little papers right here with the rocks on them, so you can come up, and we have pens, markers that are right there, and we will have someone from the PSU Student Union walking around with a sheet if you want to sign up to keep up with this campaign and just the PSU Student Union. So we're gathered here today to call for the disarmament of Portland State University's campus public safety officers who shot and killed Jason Washington at 1:30 a.m. on Friday morning outside of the student dorms on PSU's campus. The man who was killed was attempting to break up a fight when he fell over and his licensed gun fell out of its holster. Witnesses said they heard 6 to 8 gunshots come from the officers, which resulted in Jason Washington dying. The officers' names were Sean McKenzie and James Dewey, who are now on paid administrative leave. We would like to take 3 minutes of silence to mourn Jason Washington. My name is Mason Mimi. I am here with the Portland State University Student Union. Today marks 3 years since the university rolled out the armament and deputization of the campus security force, with this past Friday marking the first person the security force has murdered. We, the PSU Student Union, also referred to as SUSU, have been organizing against the armament and deputization of campus security since before the Board of Trustees voted it through. We also have SUSU members, we already did that part. Before we were SUSU, we were the Student Action Coalition. And when the prospect of arming the security officers came up in 2012, the Student Action Coalition began holding demilitarization meetings and working in the best interest of students to get the word out about this huge decision the administration was trying to make without adequately including students, staff, and faculty voices in the process. The university also at this time implemented a board of trustees structure at PSU, something they did not have before this prospect of arming came up, and something that they had to have in order to implement arming and deputization. The blood of Jason Washington is on the hands of the Board of Trustees as well as the officers who murdered him. The board decided to vote this through despite the mass dissent to it on campus. This includes the former president of PSU, Wim Vivel, who saw this entire decision through from implementing a Board of Trustees in 2012 until June 15, 2015, when the vote made the armament official. We also call on the current PSU president, Rama Qureshi, to disarm the campus public safety office. He must now take responsibility for the murder of Jason Washington as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
SUSU was not alone in our opposition to arming campus security. The student government at PSU issued a survey in 2015 before the armament was voted through. In this survey, 58% of students who responded explicitly opposed the creation of an armed security force. The School of Gender, Race, and Nations also formally opposed it. PSU's Faculty Senate formally opposed it. The School of Social Work formally opposed it, and the Child and Family Studies program formally opposed it. The reasons the university gave for arming are all reasons that we know to be bullshit.
That's right.
My comrades will be talking more about this throughout the rally. The guise of police with guns equaling safety is not a true reality for the majority of students at PSU, just like it is not a reality for the majority of people in the United States. Police serve to protect the rich and powerful white people in the United States that align with ideals of maintaining capitalism, where profit is valued over people. We are against everything that policing stands for, as all it does is cause harm to people and protect wealth and power. The university police are not exempt from this larger issue of policing, no matter how much the university wanted to pretend that they could be.
Yeah.
Next, we will have Kate coming up to speak to touch on more of these issues.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kate. I was a student at PSU up until this winter. I'm a current member of Critical Resistance Portland, fighting to abolish the prison industrial complex, and thank you. I organized with the PSU Student Union for about 4 years while I was at PSU. So at Critical Resistance, we work to abolish the prison industrial complex in all of its forms, and campus militarization is just another of the many arms that the prison industrial complex has. Not only is creating campus cops an extension of that, but the college system in general is complacent in supporting the prison industrial complex.
That's right.
Many colleges are some of the biggest investors in private prisons and reap the benefits of that. Do you know where most of the furniture that stock colleges is from? It is from prison slave labor, forced labor that colleges are benefiting on, while they are also profiting on the backs of students and creating more and more money for themselves because they are running themselves like a corporation.
That's right.
PSU also claims to be a sanctuary school, stating that they will not report the documentation status of their students, which is a really good thing, but it is not enough. PSU needs to be proactive about standing against ICE, supporting the ICE occupation in Portland, and getting ICE out of Portland.
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE!
One of the many reasons that PSU had for arming their campus police was that they knew that Portland police were so bad but if they could just make their own police force, they could make the perfect little utopian police force and everything would be great. PSU wanted us to think that police reform was possible and that they had the power to do it. But over the last 3 years that our campus has been filled with campus police, they've shown that they are no different than other police forces.
Yeah.
PSU Campus Police has been sweeping homeless people from the campus. They have been intimidating and harassing students and community members of color. They have been failing to protect survivors of sexual violence on our campus.
That's right.
And they have been mistreating and abusing and forcibly sedating people who are mentally ill and experiencing mental health crises. PSU campus cops are no different than any other cops. Cops cannot be reformed. Police need to be abolished. So disarm PSU, disarm all police forces, abolish policing, abolish ICE, and abolish prisons. Thank you.
My name is Olivia Pace. I'm also a member of the Student Union, and I'll be co-emceeing with Mason today. PSU heard for 6 years at this point from students, from staff, from faculty that we did not want to create a police force that would have the capacity to kill people on our campus. They treated us like we were crazy. They treated us like we were out of our minds. And now somebody has lost their life because PSU refused to listen to students, refused to listen to staff, refused to listen to faculty. They do not care about us. This decision was never about safety, never about keeping students safe, never about education. It was always about the profit they could gain from having a force that would create something that was more easy to develop into the city of Portland. And now somebody's lost their life because of that. PSU this year has practiced all kinds of horrible things, using campus security, like Kate said, abusing mentally ill students. And one of the other things they've done is using our police force to perpetuate the silencing of sexual violence victims. And this is highly connected to the kind of violence that they were able to display on Friday. And so next we're going to have Tess come speak, who can speak to how PSU has been mistreating sexual violence survivors using our campus police force. So, Tess.
Hi, my name is Tess Carter. PSU armed their cops in name of providing safety for students. They claimed it would help with sexual assault on campus. Yet they've let a known serial rapist walk around campus for 6 months without doing anything about it. This man has raped 5 women that we and they know about, 3 of which met their rapist on campus. PSU and their armed cops haven't done a thing about it. How do I know? Because I'm one of those 5 women. My rapist doesn't go to PSU anymore. Was it because PSU clearly saw the blatant threat on campus that we brought to their attention and acted appropriately? No. It's because they let him graduate last Sunday. And what's funny is that every time I go onto campus, I know the cops tail me. Every time I look in their direction, they're looking at me, keeping an eye on me, because I'm such a social threat. By saying out loud, I got raped. By saying out loud, PSU did nothing. The PSU cops know who I am. Their guns know who I am. They know my face. Did they know my rapist's face? No. They know my name. Do they know my rapist's name? No. Or, if they do, only because we were yelling it pretty loud. When myself and a student survivor of this same rapist, after 4 demonstrations against rape on campus, got a meeting with the Dean of Student Life and the Title IX coordinators to discuss the pretty tender subject of our own rapes, we get met with not only aggressive interactions and accusatory tones, but at one point, when voices were raised because we got asked an inappropriate question in a very delicate situation, what comes in? A gun, being worn by a cop. It's It's a kind of vulnerable situation to be in, discussing at length your rape with people who are consistently invalidating you. And then for it to be made perfectly clear that PSU views us as the threat in the situation. Because that cop sure as hell didn't come in to make sure that me and the other survivor were safe.
That's right.
In that very meeting, the Dean of Student Life told us that our phones being used to film our interactions with admin were weapons. Our phones. And then a cop with a gun comes in. And our support person and friend took a photo. Because if it's a weapon, it's the only one we have, and it doesn't kill people. Guns have one primary purpose, and it's not protection. It's to kill. PSU, don't you dare act shocked that this happened. Don't you dare pull some faux condolences about how this was an unfortunate situation. You literally handed them a killing machine. All that a gun can do is kill, maybe injure. That's it. That's its purpose. Wipe away your crocodile tears and face up to that fact. It's pretty clear to me that your weapons are being used against the people standing up against violence and not trying to prevent it. He was trying to break up a fight and he gets shot. Those working alongside me in the campaign against sexual violence on campus get met with armed guards at every fucking event that we go to. What message do you think you're sending to the students of PSU? To the prospective students? Because it's pretty clear to me it's one of silencing. It's one of oppression. It's one of stay in your place and keep your fucking mouth shut because we have guns. PSU, you have made it apparent that you have armed cops on campus not for our protection, but to protect the standing order. A notion made clear to us every day in this country. You are not here to protect us from serial rapists, but to murder us if we get into a scuffle. Because cops are the only ones allowed to be violent, right? We were told our rape wasn't top priority because it didn't involve blood and bruises. I'm sorry our case wasn't violent enough for you, PSU. What about now? Is there enough blood now? Honestly, the fact that PSU thought arming cops with guns would prevent sexual assault shows their lack of understanding of the issue, which they've demonstrated wonderfully throughout our case. PSU, you're an institution that harbors rapists and murders Good Samaritans. You're an institution that uses scare tactics against survivors to silence us, and those same tactics are used to kill innocent people. You promoted this. You made this happen. This was unavoidable, yet you chose to make it inevitable. You murdered Jason Washington.
That's right.
PSU, you have blood on your hands.
We wanted to make a quick announcement that we have decided to start a speakers list. If you would like to come up and speak, we're asking only people who are students and people who personally knew Jason Washington to come up and speak if you feel like it, and to limit it to about 3 minutes, just for time's sake. But if you would like to, we have this right here. The next speaker will be a member of SUSU, Caden. He will be coming up to talk about a situation that happened on campus to a student named Eulahushi Lavnes. I reached out to Eulahushi, and they do not live in Portland right now, so they can heal from this experience, but they were going to send a statement, but they were not able to finish it in time. So Caden will be talking about the situation that happened.
Hi, I'm Caden, a member of SUSU. I've been organizing for about 3 years, mainly with the Disarm campaign. Today we're here to mourn the loss of a father, a grandfather, a husband.
Put it close to your mouth.
And a friend. As we're here to do that, we need to be reminded that this is the end product to a system of oppression. Unless we stop this pattern by disarming campus security, demanding to disarm campus security, this will continue to happen for as long as we don't do that. This last March, campus police and a contingent of escorted medics showed up to Uluhushi's dorm room and ended up forcefully injecting them with a sedative. They woke up 6 hours later in the hospital. They decided that Uluhushi was mentally unstable and suicidal. The manipulation and intimidation that followed this was carried out by CPSO and by a contingent of panelists. They ended up forcing them out of PSU, and they are not attending PSU because a block was placed on their account. CPSO was used as an agent for intimidation. They carry out sweeps of houseless folks on campus. They intimidate the mentally ill. They protect real estate and kill members of our community. They have done nothing positive in the last 3 years that they have been armed.
That's right.
These people are not our friends. They do not protect us. They're incompetent of doing so. These are some of the same people who have been oppressing towns and communities for hundreds of years. Do not fall for their bootlicking grins or messages of diversity. They are not here to protect us. They are here to kill and intimidate us. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kaden. So for hearing from Tess and hearing about Uluhushi and knowing what happened on our campus a couple days ago is just further evidence that PSU is not interested in keeping us safe. It's disgusting reflecting on how PSU treated students who were simply trying to prevent people from being in harm's way and being killed by guns. But now we have to be here, and that blood is on PSU's hands. That blood is on the hands of the officers, and it's on the hands of every single PSU administrator and board member who had their voice heard in the process of giving our police officers guns. All of that is on them, and they have to carry that. Next, we're going to have Heidi, who is a member of Super.